Here we have the non-traditional katana, folded exactly 0 times, resulting in only 1 solid layer, because you don't need to fold modern steel. It's completely unnecessary, and I'm not gonna lie, my hot take, pattern welded steel doesn't look that good. It's all right, but kind of overdone, personal opinion. Wrap, instead of silk, I just use paracord. It's doing a crisscross wrap that I reversed. God damn it, I was paying really close attention to that too. Oh well. The only person probably gonna ever notice is me, and you, now that I told you. Either way, forged 5160 steel, kind of a more modern take on it, I guess. Again, paracord wrap, 5160 steel. But honestly, kind of a fun build. Feels nice to swing. I'm not great with katanas. I've never really worked with them too much. Again, I mostly use Bowie knives, but gonna, see what I can do with this. I really should have looked up a couple of techniques for them before I started filming. But I didn't do that, and neither does most other people testing katanas online, so here we go. I always forget how easy it is to cut water balls with swords.
My blade is all ground, shaped the way I want it. Took off a lot of material, but I think it turned out pretty good. Now, before I go and actually heat treat it, there's a couple things I need to do. One is to make the guard, and, you know, if you can tell from the video, I don't know how to pronounce any of the actual, like, names of them, because I know some people say, oh, this is this part of the katana, this is this, like, I don't know. This is the guard disc piece. Just drilled some holes. 1/4 inch is the thickness of the tang. Unfortunately, my 1/4 inch drill bit broke, so I just had to use some 3/16. Use an angle grinder to cut that slot out and then just shape it from there. Of course, I made it round. I'll just have to cut that out probably. Probably cut the slot and then I'll shape that and then use the forge to kind of make that fit snugly. Then there's the kind of piece here. I think this is the part that actually holds into the scabbard. I'm just using it as kind of a spacer. Just some thin sheet metal that I'm going to forge around that and then rivet in place. Used that a while back and just kind of like the way it looks. So that's my base plan. Then from there, I'm gonna heat treat it and get my handle made. Okay, blade's finished. Now I just got to finish up the handle. Drilled in holes. Probably gonna use about 3 of these to put brass pins through with just some oak. Nothing fancy, but got a hole here. That's where the paracord's gonna be kind of tied off at the end. Clean that up a little bit. And of course I have my this metal piece here. These are gonna be hammered out just to, you know, hold that in place, obviously, and then the guard's gonna sit right there. So basically just gonna finish that part up real quick and then shape the wood handle, obviously, once I get it cut out and glued on there. Okay, now that I've got the scales glued on, I'm just gonna take my rasp here and just kind of file it down, shape it a little bit. I might, that did not feel good. Might use the sander a bit, just kind of shape it, but not too much. Then from there, give it a bit of stain. Just, you know, enough to where the underside of it's dark, nothing too fancy. Then from there, all I have to do is just give the handle that nice paracord wrap that I plan on doing, and I'll have a nice sword handle. Well, nice sword, actually. So, hopefully, this part won't take too long. Okay, so for the last bit of my sword build, see I got this nice and stained. Honestly, I do kind of like the look of it, but I want this to have the katana wrap, sort of katana wrap, obviously. So I found the easiest way to do this is some basic paracord. Literally bought this at Walmart, nothing fancy. Your typical lighter, scissors, just to kind of make everything work. Let me get some JB Weld. Basically, that's going to keep everything from moving and shifting. Little something to keep the JB Weld from making a mess. This is an Amazon catalog I got in the mail. Cannot wrap my head around that one, but it's a thing. So basically, what I'm going to do is start by taking a little bit of paracord and just removing the internal core of it to where all I have is just this black, like, outer shell. I'm going to use a decent bit of it. I always end up with way too much because I make sure I have plenty, because I don't know the exact measurement I'm going to need. And even if I did, I probably couldn't tell you because I eyeballed this whole thing. So honestly, it's just a lot of paracord, but just like the external pieces. Okay, finally got the core out of the paracord. That took way longer than it was supposed to. Anyway, my struggle with that aside, basically what I did is I find the center of it, just grab the two ends, just work my way to it, towards the center, just pulling. Anyway, pretty self-explanatory. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a little bit of JB Weld. See if I can do this on camera. Not very well from here. Yeah, just put just a little bit, not a ton, because I don't want to make a mess. Just a little bit on one side and a little bit on the other. I left my tripod out in my vehicle, so I don't have it on me at the moment. There's a little bit of JB Weld. I'm not going to do it like all the way, just like here and there. I'm just going to place some. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm just going to like start wrapping it around with a crisscross. I'll kind of show it once I get a few, you know, not really knots done, but just a little bit farther down and kind of show what I'm talking about. And basically, you're going to have to pay attention to make sure you actually like keep the same pattern, because I've had to undo so many of these in the past. But basically, just going to do a crisscross pattern all the way down. Slow progress, because I had to undo part of it, as every time. As I mentioned, it's kind of annoying. So basically, just doing this crisscross pattern here. I put a clamp on every once in a while, just kind of hold everything in place. And just keep going until I'm done. Then once I'm done, I'm just going to stick them through this hole here and tie it off. Keep it pretty simple. Again, definitely not traditional, but I think it's a lot simpler than the traditional like silk tying. If you can do it, I would go and do it, but I've tried and it does not go well. So this is what I'm going to do for now.